All right, welcome back to the Real Estate Huddle, episode 42, and we are here to tell you the strangest things that have ever happened in homes, or the strangest things that we've seen in homes in our time doing this. And I think collectively, we've got about 30 plus years of real estate experience in the room, right? And so shown lots of homes, been inside lots of properties, and there have been some weird things that happen sometimes in this business. So we'll give you a little inside peek of what that looks like. And I'm sure you've probably seen some of this stuff on Zillow, right, that we'll talk about. But whether it be like, you know, shag carpet still, right, today, or whether it be like really outdated things, the avocado appliances, stuff like that. Like, you still got to love that stuff from like the 20s, 30s that's still rocking in homes. But also there's some other really funky things that we see, and sometimes sad. But
I saw just to get it started real quick, I was showing a client some houses in Colorado Springs, and this isn't the one we were just talking about. This is a different one, but it was in that same tour. It's just a really small house. We go to the basement, it's unfinished, and where the crawl space is like 2 coffin-sized holes that somebody dug out in the crawl space. Mm-hmm. Like literally like 6 feet by maybe 3 feet, like holes next to each other. My client goes down there and they see like, wonder. Like, I don't know if I want to buy this house anymore. And we literally leave right then and there. Like, what the heck was that? That's weird. That's creepy.
That's folks trying to get away from the property tax law. So if you bury family on your property, you don't have to pay property taxes. So, there's a rumor.
Like, say that out loud. The red curtains in the basement, like weird looking stuff that looks like, wow, a serial killer must have lived here.
I've seen some weird shiny things.
Yeah. Or like really weird dolls. Like,
okay,
that's weird.
Yeah, like I went into a room once and it was like, you know how they have like shelves that line the ceiling kind of, but there's like porcelain dolls everywhere. They're just all looking at you and like, all right, that's that room. We're gonna close that door and go to the next one.
Some people make their house like a doll shop. Yeah. Like they think people walking across need to see.
Is what it is.
And it's if you've ever seen Chucky or any of those movies, it's a little scary. But
I consider myself pretty manly, but anytime dolls come into play, it's like I get a little pansy.
Gets a little nervous.
Creepy ones.
Yeah. Especially when the eyes follow you as you walk through it.
Oblong heads.
Oh man.
Okay, so we've had some of those. Definitely had some walk-in experiences, right? Where it's just brutal. You walk into a house and somebody's there.
I haven't had anybody in the house when I get there, but I've had people stay in the home, like which we knew they were elderly. But I had actual seller come home while I was in the middle of a video property tour, and he was less than happy that I had overstayed my welcome by my 30-minute window by a few minutes, and it was easy to say that we weren't going to be dealing.
Really want to sell his house. Huh?
He didn't want to sell his home, and you kind of get an idea of what the negotiations would have been like with him. So, too bad for him. So,
as a seller's agent, you're like, shut up and stay outside. Yeah. Just wait till he leaves, please.
Yes, their car's in your driveway, and it's not yours. It's kind of a dead sign, and the door's still open.
Some people are ultra punctual, man. It's over, and I'm going back in my house. Yeah,
I've got my programs to
get it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Probably the scariest home that I had ever been in was a home. So wood decks in Colorado kind of generally don't do very well due to the sun and drying out. But there was a property when I stepped out onto the deck, it moved a lot more than I ever would thought was safe. And it was really scary. So we neglected to go that way through the backyard. We went underneath and kind of looked at it. But that deck was not structurally attached on one side of the home. So it was a little nerve wracking. So I felt like I was going to fall through there. So
it's always nice.
This one, it's not like that bad, but went under contract on a house. I think it was in Littleton. I can't remember, but we're there for inspection, and my buyer and I are there. We're going through the home again. They're admiring everything about it. And if you want to talk about what does Brian Buffini call it? The sales prevention.
The sales prevention team.
Yeah. This wasn't any one person as a sales prevention team. It was definitely a being, though. There was a snake coiled up in the powder room.
Ooh.
Nothing dangerous. It was just it wasn't little though. It was a thick, thick garter snake.
Wow.
And I
Healthy.
hate snakes. I don't deal with them. But I knew the inspector, and he's good friends with us, obviously. And I was like, hey, there's a snake in the bathroom. I'll get it. He's like, oh, I can get it. Don't worry about it. I was like, no, just finish it. And my buyers was like, how did that snake get in here? Like, they were asking all the questions. And they were very close to like, there's a snake in here. I don't want it. Who knows how many other snakes are like in the walls, blah, blah, blah.
It's infested. There's asps behind the walls.
Yeah.
Get out of here,
Indiana Jones situation. But had to pick that one up and put it in a box and let it go somewhere nice.
Release it someplace safe.
Yeah.
I've had a mouse run across the kitchen on a walkthrough before. It's been exciting.
And your reaction? Yeah.
Not me, but people I was with were very not excited to see that mouse.
This is just a funny story, but I had a client recently. He's like, if I walk into a bedroom and I see a spider, I'm not buying the house. And so anytime he'd see a spider, he'd be like, nope. You'd hear him in the other room just like walking towards me. Nope, we're not buying this one. Yeah. Easy, buddy.
Have you guys ever been through homes with any real significant structural issues?
Oh, yeah.
I just did this last weekend. Yeah.
Ken Carroll had one. Ken Carroll. I don't care how you pronounce it. Shut up.
I do. It's Ken Carroll.
But you could, and I've always wanted to do this, but I don't because it's another sales prevention tactic, but bring a marble with you. Mm-hmm. This
Golf
one
ball.
would have shot from the front door straight to the back door like within seconds. This thing was like tilted front to back. And
like a fun house.
It was like, it was noticeably like you were walking downhill without a doubt from the front to the back. And then when you walk back, you're like out of breath by the time you got to the front door.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
Worst one. And oh man, I couldn't tell you the degree of slope it was, but it was significant. And somehow it still sold within that week that we saw it.
Scary.
Yeah, no, I saw some this weekend. There were, you walked up a hill in the dining room and then back down the other way. And it was like,
that's me or something.
You can imagine like you
Where
got
was it?
Thanksgiving
Littleton?
dinner out, and your cranberries are falling off the table. Like, that would not be good.
We know where the dog's going to sit at the kitchen table right at the end to catch everything, right?
No doubt.
No, I toured a home down in Colorado Springs by the Broadmoor. So it was this beautiful home, and it had like these nice arch ceilings and like these, it looked like the Venetian out in Las Vegas, like with these beautiful, it was just huge. And my client was an engineer, and myself, we were going through it, and we're like, there's got to be something seriously wrong with this place. And the front part of the home was just gorgeous. It was a little dated, but it was just absolutely beautiful. And then we get like to the downstairs and on the back side of the home, and all of a sudden, like you could tell that it looked like the DuckTales earthquake line came right through the home, and it just like the house just went like this.
Oh.
And it was a couple feet down on the back side. The back bedroom, like the doors didn't open. You could tell like they walled up one of the doors to try because they knew it wasn't going to open anymore. Mm-hmm. And it was just really scary. So it was on a nice road with a good hill, but behind it was water. So it was kind of like a nice open space behind the house, and like the backyard was just like falling off into this. And it was unfortunate because it was just an absolutely beautiful home. Probably be a $2 million home if it was in good shape. And, I was looking at the engineering reports, and we were kind of joking about it. I'm like, yeah, I don't know if that's, you can get underneath that and just jack that up and kind of fix that. That was significant. There was cracks all over, and you can see where the roof line was bent, and that was pretty significant.
I've been in a couple, one in particular. The other couple that I've been in had like more like stair stepping lines, but the one that I remember specifically was in that what's it called?
Friendly Heights.
Friendly. Is that Friendly Heights?
Friendly Hills.
Friendly Hills.
Yeah. Morrison.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a nickname for that neighborhood.
Friendly Thrills.
I heard it was Felony Heights.
It was because I've gone on the basement, not finished.
Yeah.
They would have been much better off finishing that sucker because the foundation had a horizontal crack all the way off of one wall. Like wasn't even like jagged. It was like just straight across. Like lightsaber taken to the concrete type deal.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if this is the right one for us. So like, why? I was like, because of that. And they're like, what does that mean? I was like, that means There's been some major shifting. If you ever see a horizontal crack in a foundation, get out of the house.
Yeah.
It's not worth your time unless you're planning to scrape that house and start from new. Because
There's another option out there.
yeah, there's something different. Friendly Hills isn't so friendly. Turns out.
And
So,
that was a builder that was building in the area that did not understand the expansive soil.
Yeah.
Now, they have learned a lot now where the new construction, they excavate and then repack and do core samples, and they build the houses differently, which is nice. But I had a home that had the horizontal crack, and like where the crack was about 6 inches further in from where the foundation wall was supposed to be. And I'm looking at that going, I don't know if I should be this close to it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could see the upstairs like joist like not quite lining up anymore. I'm like, okay, that's
you know,
a little alarming.
a lot of people move to Colorado for the adventure. And we've got mountain biking, snowboarding, living in a house, like with structural damage. It's all an adventure.
Yeah, there you go.
So if you want adventure,
You like to live
24/7,
dangerously.
Move to Morrison, West Littleton. No, I'm just kidding. It's
Hard pass.
yeah, just make sure you just do your due diligence on the inspection stuff. But
If that's what you call fun.
yeah, I love going to bed not knowing if my house is going to be up the next day.
If the foundation walls are just going to fall in on you.
Maybe your Apple Watch will record your elevation change while you.
Yeah.
But one point we have to make is that, like, Ben and I runs in weird streaks. So like 7 houses on one street could be just fine in Friendly Hills and other neighborhoods like Green Mountain and the West Littleton and some of these areas close to the Hogback, and other houses are an absolute train wreck, right, as far as the structure goes. And so that's why you need a professional to be walking the home with you and pointing that stuff out.
Yeah, and we know what to look for, right? We've seen the signs. We've been through the bad houses, so we can see, oh, this is starting. This is an approach there, and things to look out for. So, there was one experience I had in a house in North Glen, and this was, 7 years ago when I was working with my first real estate client, working with his first home, and we were really wanted to buy a home, and it was up in North Glen, and it was a real low price point. It was one of those, this is too good to be true. Well, it wouldn't qualify for FHA lending because the kitchen was demolished, and that's kind of a random thing. Turns out, we walk into the property and the kitchen was missing, went down in the basement, kind of toured the whole property, and all of the joists underneath the kitchen were primed. And I'm like, oh, they must have had a massive water leak or something, because typically you do that to prevent mold and whatever else. And didn't think much of it. And this is like an investor special. So there was just like 20 people touring the house at one time. And it was like a 2,000 square foot home. So it was really tight quarters. So we ended up going to talk with the client in the backyard, and the neighbor happened to be out. So I went and talked to old Howard over there, and he told me the story. And apparently the son who stayed in the home after the parents moved to the retirement home had some medical issues and passed away in the home. And he was in the kitchen and kind of had been in there for a long time before anybody knew he was had turned, you should say. So they actually had to demolish the kitchen due to a hazmat team came in and cleaned it all up and took it out. So essentially, when I thought it was a water leak, it was a decomposing body that had been leaking through the floor. So
Wow.
Yeah, it was an easy, we'll go to the next one after that. But it was a little scary. So
What blows my next story out of the water?
oh, sorry, I didn't mean to steal your thunder.
It's just about cat poop.
Oh, well, hey, who doesn't love a good sandbox
Do you
story?
guys like cats?
Nah.
I'm more of a dog kind of guy.
It's fine. I hate cats.
I'm more of a dog person.
So we logged in. That's bad.
It was, and had I not known, I would have just assumed it was a water leak. But good old Howard, the neighbor, told us the whole story, and I'm like, oh. The house didn't smell, so they did a good job cleaning it up. But apparently, he was there and decomposed for a week and a half before anybody knew he was missing.
Breaking Bad.
Well, and unlike other markets, Colorado's a state where you do not have to disclose psychological defects. So that does not have to be disclosed. So if you're interested in knowing what's happened in the house, then might be
I'd
good
really
to
like to
check
change that.
police
We should lobby
reports.
for that.
Yes. All right, Spencer, cat poop.
I hate cats. So this one resonates
Cats and
with me a
snakes. I'm
lot.
seeing a trend.
So have you guys ever walked into a house where you're like, oh, this looks really, really nice, and it's priced really well, and then you walk in and it's like your hair's blowing in the wind because of the smell of cats that you just walk into.
Your eyes are burning.
You're like, oh. So the ammonia of that cat urine, and then you're like, okay, let's just look for the potential. It's very minimal, but let's look for it.
Yeah.
So you're walking through the house, and then you like look to the corner, and all you see is this pile of cat poop. Where like you'd think maybe a litter box would be, but the cat just decided, I think I'm going to go here.
I made the litter box over here.
Yeah,
because
owner didn't think to clean it up. I don't know if the owner was old, couldn't see the cat poop. Maybe they were blind. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
oftentimes horrors, right? When that
Like-
stuff happens.
Yeah.
but then you like walk out and like that smell stays with you forever.
Oh, yeah.
it's on your clothes. It stays with you.
I'm not saying anything about people that own cats. I know a lot of great people that own cats. But if you own cats and you're trying to sell your house, get rid of the cats. Like put them somewhere else. Put them in the garage. Humanely, like store them somewhere, right? Don't come after me, PETA. Just let's figure this out so we can eliminate any type of pet odor because that is a sales prevention tactic, hands down.
So if you have cats and you sell your house, don't call
does not
Spencer.
come out. Yeah,
Yeah.
Call
I'm not
Kim.
selling your house. You can call Kim, call Jackson. I don't care. It's ridiculous. I don't want to deal with it.
It's a $20,000 cat because you got to figure you got to be putting carpet in
Yeah,
and priming
they
floors.
ruin
and-
everything if you don't. They're not clean. But
So other weird things. I've seen stripper poles in basements.
I've seen that.
Okay.
Yep.
Absolutely, with like lighting, like
Yep.
proper lighting for the occasion.
You do you.
I've seen. I actually on Pinehurst Golf Course, there was a house that was for sale that was once owned in the '70s by Elvis, and Elvis
nice.
built the place, and his daughter lived there for a while. Elvis Presley, and. It was like a dungeon in the basement. The weirdest thing. It was like this gate with like a castle gate that you went into, and then it was like lava rock down in the basement.
People are
And
some weird stuff.
literally like a dungeon with that would, like you would lock people in downstairs in the
Probably
basement.
where
It
they
was
play
crazy.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
A little more themed.
And
Yes.
I think they had like a pool or
That's what I'm
something. I don't know what was going on.
Saber.
It was crazy.
Maybe a nice steam room.
Yeah.
Lava rock. I don't know. You never,
Gas
that's,
chamber?
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Elvis's place.
It was nuts. Yeah, and it ended up selling as a foreclosure, but one of the weirdest floor plans I've ever seen. I think he might have been on drugs when he created the.
No, I don't think he
Blueprint.
did drugs.
No. Oh yeah, Elvis wouldn't do that.
No, he
Obviously.
just something that was in the chicken. So, no, there was a house that I didn't tour, but it got a lot of publicity. There was a house in Colorado Springs called Hell House. I don't know if anyone saw the pictures or videos, but go ahead and Google it because apparently it came back on the market. But it had graffiti everywhere on the walls, like
Inner city chic.
every inch of this house. I think it was over by Broadmoor, so it was like in a really nice
Oh, nice,
neighborhood.
yeah.
But they had like destroyed the house, and what do they say? It sold for $580, back on the market for $580. Little Slice of Hell was as it was marketed. So
Yikes.
it was brutal. So you kind of look at like,
Really leaned into that marketing.
yeah, exactly.
Hey, it worked. It got some bloggers going.
Yeah, so there was
Gonna do it.
expletives
Do it all
all
out.
over the floor. I heard, I didn't, I thought at the time they may have poured concrete down the plumbing like concrete powder down the plumbing to seize up all the pipes. Like it was just a mess. So I actually was so interested in the home and to see if like this was reality, to go actually physically see it. It was beyond belief, but it was pretty interesting. So
That's crazy.
Is it worth going into some of the coolest things we've seen in a house?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe another episode. It might
Could do
be.
it. Yeah, that might be worth another
That might be
episode.
separate.
I've walked into plenty of cool things. I mean, as far like on the topic of bad things or rough things, like I've had a couple where I've walked in. One in particular, I walked into a guy who obviously didn't care to leave, but he was fully intoxicated, passed out on the couch. We walked in, as he was like waking up from his slumber, and was not happy that we were there. I was like, hey, I had a showing scheduled, but we'll leave. And it was with a client that I had just met, like the first house.
No rapport.
Yeah. She was super nice and kind and understanding, but I was like, guys, this usually doesn't happen. So
It's not the norm.
sorry about that.
yeah, I've got the, knock on the door, yell, announce my presence. Cause
I do that every time. Every single time.
Oh yeah. Even if it's vacant, it's vacant still.
just a
And
Hello.
I've heard horror stories of like bad stuff happening to like people that'll stay, like squatters. They'll stay in the house or
Yeah.
like hide in the closet. And like I've heard some interesting stories of older realtors that have gotten into some altercations
Yeah.
scary situations. We had a squatter on ours once.
Yeah.
Were you there when, or was it the police that chased them out? Were you there for that?
We got a call from a neighbor saying that, hey, did someone move in? Like, did the house sell? And we're like, no, it's still on the market. And they're like, oh, yeah, there's people living there. And we're like, what?
Ooh.
And so we told the owners, let them know, and they sent the police out to go look at it. And they basically fled from the police. And these guys left phones behind, left drugs behind.
I'm going to toot our own horn on this
all
one.
kinds of
Landon
stuff.
and I went and freaking cleaned that place.
We did. We cleaned it up.
We didn't hire someone to do it.
No.
We went in there
sucked
with
it up. We took it like
nice rubber gloves, hazmat suits.
So,
No, didn't
Breaking
use hazmat
Bad
suits.
style on there?
Probably should have used hazmat suits.
Yeah.
Who knows what was on all that
Yeah,
stuff.
no fingerprints on the
But there
drug
were,
paraphernalia.
like, dirty underwear.
Yeah.
Like toiletries, like used
Whole lot of nasty.
toiletries.
Yeah.
Smelled terrible.
Gross.
Some interesting.
Half-eaten soup. A ton of soup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
People love soup.
Yeah,
Interesting.
other things, just unmentionables.
Yeah.
But it was, didn't like that one at all.
Yeah. No fun. I think one of the weirdest things that ever happened to me was during an inspection in Parker, actually. Nice neighborhood, too.
No, not
No.
in Parker.
Nice
Yeah.
people,
It would've-
too.
Must have been
there's
Parker.
no way it was in Parker.
Yeah, it had to. It was. It was. My memory served me
I don't
right.
believe it.
We were at the inspection, and all of a sudden we get a knock on the door, and it's a cop. And the cop, well, hold on, time out. So we show up. The guy,
Back the blue.
Owner lets us in. And I said, hey, do you want me to let you know when we're done? And he said, yeah, that'd be great. And so I said, okay, great. I'll jot your number down so that I can call you when we're done. And he was just kind of ornery, like just a little different. And then, an hour and a half into the inspection, the door knocks, and it's this policeman, and he's wondering where the seller is. He's like, have you seen this homeowner anywhere? We're looking for him. And I'm like, yeah, I just saw him an hour and a half ago. He answered the door for us. Seemed like he's not the nicest guy, but it didn't seem crazy. And
Should I be concerned?
he's like, I was like, I got his number. Do you want his number? And he's like, yeah, that'd be great, actually. His wife's been trying to reach him, and he's been making threats that he's going to off himself, the cop's words. And so I'm like, okay,
Wow.
that's interesting. We're in his home, like sitting ducks right now. And so this guy could be dangerous. So we keep going on the inspection, and I told my clients, I'm like, hey, this is what just happened. We'll proceed at your own risk if you want. And they're like, yeah, we'll just finish up quick. And so we're down in the basement finishing up the inspection, and all of a sudden there's we hear. And I felt something. I was just like, man, I got to go lock the door. Like, this just feels like we're here. The door's wide open. What if he comes back in? So I go up to lock the door. Literally, when I reached out to go lock the door flings open at me. And this guy's there with the police officer. And he's just like cussing up a storm, going, my smokes, I just want to smoke. That's all I want. And he yelling at the cop and stuff. And he comes storming by, grabs his cigarettes, and then they go out, right? And they leave. And I'm thinking, okay, let's get out of here. We're down in the basement. Like, let's just finish this and go. And my heart's pounding, So I go down. Probably 20 minutes later, we're just wrapping up the last part in the crawl space. And then we hear this boom, 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 boom coming down the stairs. And then all of a sudden we see this guy come around the corner and just tell all of us, quote, like, get the hell out of my house. And we all look at each other and go, let's go. And we just jetted out.
Love your house, see ya.
Left. We cruised out of his house. And this cop had let the guy back in the house by himself. And
Why?
He was parked on the end of the street. And so I went out there and told the cop, I was like, hey, why didn't you escort him back in the house? That's kind of a dangerous guy. And you knew we were in the house doing the home inspection. And he's like, oh, no, he's not dangerous, And I love our police. I love it.
I've seen worse.
Yes.
I think he made a mistake that time. I don't know what their protocol is in that situation, but
Yeah.
Well, their definition
felt
of dangerous and your definition of dangerous, they might be desensitized
100%.
a little bit, right? Yeah,
100%. Yeah. I guess he spent enough time with the guy to know that he really wasn't dangerous. But then the weirdest part of the whole thing is my clients were like, we don't want this house. We're out of this contract. Let's terminate. So we terminated the contract. But as we were leaving, we walked away, and I am driving by, and the owner comes out of the house, walks halfway down the street between two houses, and pulls down his drawers and starts urinating on this, on the fence of one of the houses.
I don't see the problem.
And we're driving by. I'm like,
Was the cop still there?
this is this is weird. Like, I thought that was weird in the basement, but this is weirder. This just got strange.
I don't know why we didn't lead off with this. Yeah. We got a dead guy draining through the freaking house. We got some guy peeing on the lawn after inspection. Didn't think to use the toilet.
We probably lost half our audience with those lame cat stories.
Yeah, sorry guys. Sorry about the cat stories, guys. Oh my gosh.
Well, Spencer, you told me of a story of a hot tub in a very particular spot in a home.
I don't know about I mean, I guess to each their own. And people do their things the way that they do them. But this is another Colorado Springs one. I don't know what it is, but Colorado Springs, every time, I think every single tour I've had outside of new builds, I've always come back with an interesting story from Colorado Springs. Don't know why.
Right.
Not a knock on Colorado Springs, but
The grass is a little sweeter down there.
it's weird. They don't have grass down there. They do a lot of zero scaping or just let it grow wild. But
The other kind of grass.
the other kind of grass. Showing this home, and it's funny because I was showing this home to a family member. Like, it was one of my cousins, and having a good time, and catching up. And she goes into the master bedroom. She's like, "Hey, Spence, what is this?" And I walk in there. I'm like, "That's a hot tub." It's like, so
Not a jetted tub. It's an actual jacuzzi.
no, it's like actual 1990s purple marbly looking hot tub.
In the house.
In the house. So, and it's not just the hot tub. So, you walk into the the primary bedroom, and they built the little closet like you would see in any other room with the roll-away doors. I'm like, okay, that's weird. But then you see another room that looks like a walk-in closet, and you walk in, and it's this, you walk in over here, and you turn left, and you're like, okay, there's a cover right there. There's something under there, and I'm guaranteeing it's like a hot tub cover. I'm like, that's got to be a tub. That's weird. And then so there's the tub over here, and then way over here in like the corner is a pump, like just copper sweated and everything. Great workmanship. They did a great job on it.
Wow.
And so I unopened the cover. I'm like, there's your romantic getaway. Nice hot tub. And it's like, it's not the hot tubs that you see where it's a square and then it's the bench on the perimeter of the hot tub. It's a hot tub where it's a lay down curvature. So one
like a
lays
chaise
this way,
lounge.
and then the other one lays on the other side this way. And it's a honeymoon suite type hot tub.
Back to back.
And I'm like, Amanda, this is a great option.
Yeah.
Resale is super high on this. They're going to love this.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
But it's like
So it was permitted though?
zero chance that 0% chance that was permitted at all, because it's in a freaking closet. There's zero ventilation, so there's no there's no
vent
far
fan?
fans or anything like that. There's nothing like any type of ventilation, no whole house fan, just a huge freaking window.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, the only way that there's not black mold in here is if they kept this ventilated anytime they used it, and by opening the window. And so it was kind of weird because it's a tri-level home, and this was like sunken. It was on the top floor, and it was the tub was not raised. It was floor level. Like you could just walk right into it.
So
Yeah.
it's sunken in.
So it's somewhere
That's an upgrade.
in the crawl space, or like it's just the weirdest. I don't know. It's like a fever dream is what it was.
It was probably fully reinforced underneath to support the weight of the hot tub, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, you walk in there and like,
That's crazy.
is this real?
Well, last thing I remember, like, when you walk in on someone, we alluded to this at the beginning, but it is the most awkward, like, heart racing thing ever. And I was young in my career, like, just started showing houses, and I'd set up a bunch of showings. I knew that I had confirmation on it because I had the lockbox. We were there on time and everything, but apparently the showing service didn't communicate to the homeowner. And I walk in the door with my clients who are like young couple, and all of a sudden this lady screams around the corner in a towel and goes, "What are you doing in my house?" And like, "Get out of here." And I
have the same.
apparently she did not care that I showed her my phone, that I had the showing instructions right there and that I was supposed to be there. Like, she could not care less because
We will
was
not be
like, "No."
putting an offer on your house. Good day.
So I just said, thank you. We will leave now.
We will be leaving.
Sorry for the intrusion.
I had one so similar to that, and this one's kind of funny actually. So this wasn't me personally, but I was selling. So it was like my very, very early on in my career. We were living with my parents at the time because we were in the middle of buying our house, and so we were in transition. And my parents' neighbors across the street, Dick, they wanted me to sell their house, and so anytime I saw showings pop up on showing time, I'd go sit in my mom and dad's front living room and just watch. So Dick and Sue are their name. Sweetest couple you'll ever meet.
Yeah, so nice.
Great people. And the way that the showing service works is the buyers will request, or the buyer's agent will request showing time. And unless it's like a go and show, which gives you automatic approval, the sellers have to approve that time. And so everything was in the green. They approved this showing, everything. I think Sue just forgot. So what happened was I see the agent pull up, see the buyers pull up. I'm like, oh, great, we got a showing. So I'm watching it from my living room. And they all walk in, close the door. I'm like, perfect. And 10 seconds later, so I go to the kitchen.
Grab your popcorn.
Yeah,
so you
grab
can
a
see the
cookie
show.
or something like that. I don't know. Come back, just like doing like hanging out on my phone, and I see the door open. Literally like 10 or 15 seconds later, I was like, oh man, they must have really hated that house. And my phone is then ringing, and I can see the agent out in the front driveway calling me. I'm like, this is Spencer. I'm watching him from the driveway, and he's like, hey, real quick, we just walked in on Mrs. Seller in the shower.
Oh, no.
Sue, and they're older and sweet lady. I'm like, okay, give me just a second. And immediately as I say that, Dick's number comes up on the phone.
Yeah, I bet.
And Dick's like, why the hell is this person walking on my wife in the shower? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, Dick, hold on.
Military background, right?
Yeah.
It's going
like,
off on you.
whoa. Like, first of all, this was not my fault. It's like, first of all, it looks like the showing got approved. Like, I think you guys approved it. It's okay. Sue may have forgotten. He's like, yeah, but they walked in and are completely naked in the shower, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I am so sorry. I'll get the details and figure this out. And he just had a moment of like, he just kind of went by the, how he was feeling. And
Yeah.
he calls me back like 10 minutes later. He's like, I'm really sorry. I know that wasn't your fault. I was just reacting instead of taking a breath. I was like, no problem, man. Totally get it. I'd act the same way if someone walked in on my wife. It's no big deal. Is Sue okay? And he's like, yeah, she's totally fine. No big deal. And ends up, that couple bought the house. So
No way.
yeah. I'm almost positive.
So they like what they saw.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, it wasn't bad. Even to their credit, the house was like completely updated. It was beautiful, great location, backed up to a really nice spot. But I think it was, and I think
the
it
plumbing
was.
was
I really
His
like
name
what
was
I see
Landon.
here.
It was the rock star Landon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was that same guy. So
Landon 2.0.
if I remember correctly, they ended up buying the house.
Yep.
So it was just a funny series of events.
And you're sitting
I'm
there
like
watching it.
him across in the driveway, calling me. I was like, oh, he's calling somebody. Okay, it's me. Like, hey, what's
it's
up,
my
man? How'd it
client.
go?
Oh,
It was
no.
really bad. It's not good.
That is not good. It's not a good day in real estate.
Oh man.
All right, well, we got to wrap this up. Any closing thoughts?
No.
Okay.
Life throws you lemons. You know.
Yeah. Got to deal with it. They make for good stories.
Gotta
And
make lemonade out of them.
the other fun thing that I've seen is just with multiple showings and having conversations with clients while you're in a house when there's other people walking around. It creates kind of an uncomfortable environment sometimes, but it does definitely bring out the scarcity of the inventory sometimes. So it's. And you can now with Ring doorbells and all the other stuff, you kind of have to act like, or you kind of always predict that somebody's paying attention to you. So
Someone's always watching.
You know?
Or your agent, the agent's across the street watching you from the windows.
yeah,
You
exactly.
never know.
You never know. Always watching. If there's one bit of advice I could give you is if you're thinking about getting into real estate, don't. Leave it up to us, the professionals. We'll take care of it so you don't have to worry about these expenses.
And all of your potential clients.
And all of your
We'll take
potential
care of
clients. We're never too busy for your referrals. And on that note,
All right, that's a wrap. Thanks for listening. We'll still catch you on the next one. So if you have enjoyed what you're listening to and you'd like to hear more, make sure to press that subscribe button so that you can not miss out on any more episodes that are coming up. And also check out all of our contact information is below. You can see us at the dreamsmithteam.com to look up more information about our team and our history and all of the members of our team and see contact information that you can reach us if you have any real estate needs.
see you next time.